Welcome to the Westbrook English Channel. We are so glad you are here with us. So, imagine this. You're an English learner. You've studied for years. You land in London, walk into a shop, and very confidently say, "Excuse me, where are the pants?"
Oh no! Oh no, I already know where this is going.
The shopkeeper stares at you, then they slowly point you toward the underwear section.
The secondhand embarrassment from that interaction is just palpable.
Welcome to our deep dive mission today. We're talking about words Americans say that confuse the entire world, and trust me, it goes way beyond pants.
Let's start with pants, because it's the perfect example. In American English, pants are trousers, what you wear to work. But in British English, pants are underwear. So when an American says nice pants, they're complimenting your outfit. When a Brit hears it, they think you just commented on their boxers.
That is wild. And it's not just the UK. In Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, same thing. One word, two completely different meanings. And this is what we want our listeners to understand today. It's not that Americans are wrong. It's that American English evolved differently, and being aware of these differences is what takes you from textbook learner to confident, real-world communicator.
Exactly. Which brings us to another classic, chips. In America, chips are these thin, crispy, salty snacks that come in a bag.
Right, what the British call crisps.
But in the UK, chips are what Americans call French fries. So you walk into a pub in London and order fish and chips. You get fried fish with thick-cut fries. You ask for a bag of chips, and they hand you a bag of crisps. Your brain just short-circuits.
It really is. And here's the thing. This isn't a vocabulary quiz. It's about avoiding real confusion when you're actually speaking English in the real world.
Okay, so let's talk about the word that causes the most awkward moments across the Atlantic, rubber.
Oh, absolutely. In the United States, rubber is, well, it's slang for a condom.
And in the UK?
In the UK, a rubber is an eraser, like the thing you use to remove pencil marks.
So imagine an American exchange student in a British classroom, and the teacher says, "Everyone take out your rubbers." That American student is going to be very confused.
Please don't ask strangers for a rubber in America without context. That's just solid life advice.
It's like speaking pure textbook English is like driving a car with no shock absorbers. These differences are the linguistic shock absorbers that keep your conversations from getting bumped.
That is a fantastic analogy. Okay, next one. And this one might seem obvious, but it still trips people up. Football.
In America, football, soccer divide. Helmets, touchdowns, the Super Bowl. In literally almost every other country on earth, football, the last one on Sunday, I used to share a fixed match of intense, canonizing faith. I know we can know a lot later about why we want them, but I can't say all the people in fact do match faith and soccer in my category as a part of this.
And what Americans call soccer, the rest of the world calls football. So if you're chatting with someone from Brazil, England, Nigeria, and you say, "I love football," they might start talking about Messi while you're thinking about the NFL.
It's not a mistake. It's a cultural difference, and knowing it makes you sound so much more natural.
Let's break down how this actually works in practice with Biscuit. Let's actually role play this for the listeners.
Okay, I'm at a restaurant in the American South. I order biscuits and gravy. What a rise!
You get a soft, savory scone-like bread covered in a creamy white sausage gravy. It's delicious, by the way.
Now I'm in London. I order biscuits. What a rise!
You get cookies. Sweet, crunchy cookies.
One word, two completely different foods. If you come to America expecting cookies and you get sausage gravy, that's quite a surprise.
It really is. And speaking of surprises, first floor. In the United States, when you walk into a building from the street, you're on the first floor. Simple.
But in the UK, that same level is the ground floor. The first floor is one flight up. So if a Brit tells you the meeting is on the first floor, and you're in America, there's a 50% chance you end up in the wrong room.
The elevator buttons are different. Your brain just not register this until you've walked up an extra flight of stairs for no reason.
We've got two more quick ones that our listeners should absolutely know. Jumper.
In the UK and Australia, a jumper is a sweater, a pullover, something you wear when it's cold.
In America, a jumper is someone who jumps, or maybe a type of dress, but never a sweater. If you tell an American, "I love your jumper," They will look at you like you just announced you're in a trampoline competition.
And boot, in British English, the boot of a car is the trunk where you put your luggage.
In American English, a boot is just footwear. You put boots on your feet.
So put it in the boot means two very different things depending on which side of the Atlantic you're standing on.
Which brings us to the real lesson here. This isn't about memorizing a list of differences. It's about developing awareness. English is a living, breathing language with so many beautiful variations. American English, British English, Australian English, Indian English, they're all valid.
It's like having different tools in your language toolbox. You don't need to use all of them all the time, but knowing which tool to reach for, depending on who you're talking to, that's real fluency.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We are so proud of you for showing up, pushing through the challenges of learning a new language, and practicing your English with us.
If this episode made you smile, or if you've ever accidentally asked for pants and ended up in the underwear aisle, drop a comment below. We want to hear your stories.
And please don't forget to subscribe to the Westbrook English Channel. We've got so many more deep dives coming your way.
Words, language, culture, it all connects, and we're so excited to keep exploring it with you.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.